At some point in building your business, you've said it. Maybe out loud, maybe just in your head, my brand sucks. I want to talk about that because you're probably wrong about what that means. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you that what feels like a brand problem is actually something completely different and far more fixable. And once you see it, you'll never look at your brand the same way again. When people say my brand sucks, they usually mean one of three things. My logo looks cheap, my website doesn't convert, and my social media feels scattered and fake. And all three of those might be true, but here's what I've learned in working with other founders. None of those are the actual problem. The real problem is what I call brand fog. It's when you don't have a clear enough internal picture of who you are, who you serve, and what makes you the obvious choice. So everything external ends up scattered. The logo looks cheap because nobody made a decision about what it should feel like. The website doesn't convert because the message isn't clear enough about who it's for, and social media feels fake because you're performing a version of yourself instead of expressing the real one. Brand fog is a systems problem, not creative failing. So if brand fog is the real problem, what actually clears it up? Here's where my background gives me a slightly different perspective than most brand people you'll run into. In quality engineering, we have a principle: you don't solve the symptom, you solve the root cause. If a product keeps failing at the same point in the process, you don't just replace the part, you figure out why that part is failing in the first place. Brand fog works the same way. The scattered social media, the unclear website, and a logo that doesn't feel right, those are all symptoms of a deeper problem. The cause is almost always one of three things. You don't have clear core values to make decisions from, you don't have a defined vision that gives everything a direction, or you don't have a clear understanding of the specific person you're actually trying to reach. Fix the cause and the symptoms become obvious to solve. So here's what brand clarity actually looks like when it's working. Three things, and they work together like a system. The first foundation are your core values acting as decision filters. Your core values aren't just for your website, they're for you. They're the filter that make decisions obvious. When an opportunity shows up, a partnership or a new offer or a type of client, your values tell you immediately, does this belong here with me or not? Without them, every decision becomes a judgment call, and judgment calls at volume are exhausting. You get overloaded really fast. The second foundation is a vision that's bigger than just revenue. Your vision is the picture of where this is all going. Not revenue numbers, it's impact. What changes in the world because you built this thing. That picture has to be clear enough that you would recognize it when you get there. Vision is what keeps you building through the days when nothing is working and revenue just isn't enough to do that. Here's the part that most brand advice completely skips, and it's the one that actually determines whether any of this sticks. And that's the third foundation of your why in specific language. Your why is the one sentence answer to why does this exist, for whom, and why them. It's not your mission statement written by some committee. This is a real sentence that sounds like you, that your ideal client would read and think, that's me they're talking about. These three things together, your values, your vision, and your why, function exactly like a design specification in engineering. Once you have a spec, everything gets built to it. Without one, everyone's just improvising. So if you've been walking around thinking your brand sucks, I want you to consider another possibility. Maybe it doesn't suck. You just don't have clarity yet. And clarity isn't a creative gift. It's an engineered outcome. You build it systematically. And then everything else, the logo, the website, the social media, the positioning, that all starts to reflect and build on something real. And if you want to go deeper on this, I've got a free training called Stop the Whirlwind that walks you through the framework I use with every client to move from that foggy, scattered feeling to a clear brand foundation. Link's in the description. I'll see you there.